Yesterday we're taping, and a topic came up. Zeta brought this topic that what would your parents have named you had they not named you what they named you?
Oh.
And I said, that's very interesting because I've never asked my mom that question.
I did, but I forgot. She told me.
She told you, and
Text
so
her.
Yeah, I know. I
Sure.
know from both sides.
and so I called my mom, and she said, "Well, give me a minute because I'm old and I need to think about it." And so I called her back, and she said, "Oh, I remember now." I said, "Okay, great." She goes, one of the names that we almost named you was La Andre.
La Andre.
Leandre,
Le or La Andre.
L.A. or L.E.?
I didn't ask.
I love Leandre.
Leandre. Big Lay.
And
Big leg.
yeah,
Big leg.
big leg.
Big leg. Hey.
Shout out. And another one
Big
was La Cedric.
Your mom was into the love.
And I asked, I said, well, why? And she didn't have an answer for this. I
She
said,
just thought it sounded pretty.
why you put a La in front of a perfectly good name? You know, because
So you could have been Lalaric.
right? And the third one that she gave me that she almost named me was Lorenzo.
Oh, that's a cool
Lorenzo.
name.
Now
That's a cool name.
I could be down with.
Big Low.
Big Low.
Low.
Yes.
Low.
Lonzo.
That just sounds smooth.
Big lens.
Low. You
That
could go by
sounds-
Zoe.
That yeah.
Lorenzo's a cool
Lorenzo
name.
Renzo. I mean, there's so many
Enzo.
possibilities.
Yeah, Enzo.
Renzo. There's so many possibilities.
Lorenzo.
Oh, wow.
But I've
That's
gone
cool.
all of these years, and I never had asked my mom that question. So it was really interesting. Do you have any, JC?
I have asked my mom, because my mom was a teenager when she got pregnant, and so she had a lot of outside sources telling her what she should name me.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to really name me Roberto.
Roberto.
Yeah.
Well.
She really liked that name.
Wasn't it a soap opera star or something?
So that was going to be my name. Then I was born on St. Joseph's Day, on March 19th is St. Joseph's Day. So when I was born on that day, my grandma was very, very Catholic, and she had
She took it as a sign.
She took it as a sign, and she said, first of all, he's born on St. Joseph's Day, and my favorite soap opera character's name is named Jose Roberto. So she named me that because of her.
Oh, cool.
But then I got curious when I met my biological father, and because apparently there was a battle to see who was gonna take the baby, who was gonna raise me, and they were trying for it. I was about to be raised by my grandparents as my parents. That's how they would have done it.
Yes.
And my father
That's when
would
my
have,
mother was raised.
and my father would have been. I would have been raised as thinking he was my brother. That's the way they were going to go about it. But they wanted.
Oh, they weren't going to tell you?
I don't know.
They probably would have.
It maybe eventually down the line, but yeah, he was 15 when I was born, so I think they were just gonna. That's the way they said they were thinking of doing it. If I were to go there, they wanted to name me Jorge,
Jorge.
which is Bio Dad's name.
Yeah.
So I was gonna be Jorge, and they didn't know what middle name. And funny enough, when Bio Dad had his first son after me, he named him Jorge.
Yeah.
So he's Jorge Andres.
Oh, nice.
So-
Junior.
No, he's there's no junior because he's
Right.
got a different middle name.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
it's funny because Zeta, the other lady on the podcast, she goes, her husband, whose name is Rick, her boyfriend Rick, and they call him Rick Jr., but his dad's name is not Rick. It's like Ricardo or something.
Oh,
and so-
really?
So she was like, I can't wrap my brain around why you're a junior, but your dad's
Not.
name is not the same as your name.
Well, maybe Rick is short for Ricardo.
But is it on the birth
it's
certificate?
on the birth certificate.
So it's different.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
that's interesting.
Anna, you're a junior, right?
No, I mean,
Yes.
we have the same first name but different middle names, so
Your-
it's
your
same
mom.
applies.
Right.
Yeah, my mom is Anna Cecilia. I'm Anna Sophia, but I think my parents, Ana Sofia. I think my parents were really close to naming me. I mean, Anna was going to be set. It was the middle name that they discussed, and it was going to be Ana Isabela.
Oh, Isa.
I think. I'd have to double check, but I'm almost positive that's what it was.
Isa
But I'm glad
girl.
they went with Sophia because, I mean, in my family I go by Sophie, since
Yeah.
my mom is Anna.
I love that name, Sophie, too. It's
Thank
so
you.
pretty.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I mean. My whole family I go by Sophie.
I was thinking about the other day when you had your kindergarten teacher she
Oh,
texted
yeah.
us and she remembered Anna's face
My, like,
and
full
her
name.
and that you
That
made
was
such
wild.
a big impression on your
Yeah.
kindergarten teacher that she remembered
And
everything
her
about
iconic curly
That's
hair.
wild. I remember in kindergarten when I got in trouble for the first time. I wonder if
For
she
what?
remembers too. I think I was talking during nap time.
you. Of course you
But now I
were.
talk for a living, so look at that.
Look at you. Justin, what were you going to be named? Do you know?
My dad wanted me to be a junior, his like full name, but my mom was like, "There's too many juniors in your family," so they gave me my dad's first name, And then they were like, we'll give him a different middle name and call him Justin. But if they said if I was a girl, my name would be Saber Renee.
Oh, really?
I know.
Saber?
I know.
That's a pop star.
I would have made a lot of money as a stripper with that name. I think.
Wow,
Welcome to
dude.
the stage, Saber Renee.
But then how come? I mean, you
Pull
have a
out-
sister,
pull
but
out
they
some-
didn't name her Saber Renee.
No, they didn't. My mom changed the name. I guess had a new idea. My sister's name is Raimi, and my mom got it from a Cabbage Patch song where it's like, "Oh, Raimi," and that's what my mom says whenever.
That's a catchy tune.
I know.
My middle name was supposed to be Renee. I was supposed to be Kelly Renee.
Kelly Renee.
And then my daddy came home and said she has to be named Angie after Angie Dickinson.
Oh, really?
So my name then became Angela Kelly because Kelly's a family name that gets passed down. My dad's middle name was Kelly. His grandfather's name was Kelly, blah, blah, blah.
Dudes with the
Anyway,
name Kelly are always cool, by the way.
So then, but he goes by his first name,
Yeah.
Gerald. He's Gerald Kelly. So then for 2 months, my baby book, my mother writes all about Angie, baby Angie. That was me.
Baby Angie.
But my aunt Velma refused to call me Angie. She
Why?
said because Kelly's a family name, so she would only call me Kelly. And then the rest of my and they, so Aunt Velma won.
And Velma, you
And
don't,
so
you
I
don't
started
argue.
Always.
going back. So I started going by my middle name
I have a
argue
question
with
for
her.
you, Kelly. How come with Emma Kelly you spell Kelly differently?
because everybody always misspelled my name growing up, and they always spelled it with a Y. And then when I was writing, I had Emma Kelly picked out since I was in 6th grade because my grandmother's name was Emma. And when I wrote out Emma Kelly with an IE, I didn't like the way it looked visually. I thought it looked better with a Y. But now everybody thinks I
Yeah.
did it with an IE, and it's so
What-
now her name is always misspelled.
What if you had had a boy?
I was thinking of Nicholas Kelly.
Okay.
Ooh.
Nicholas.
That's an
Nick.
actor.
Yeah.
That was what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
that does
of.
sound
Nick
like it.
Kelly, Nicholas.
I almost named Kaysen Beckham.
Really?
Yeah, he was going to be
That's cool.
Beckham.
That's a cool name.
Beckham
It is
Chavez.
a cool name.
Yeah.
What about Chloe?
Chloe was always a Chloe. I'm trying to. That was Kenzie's picking. I remember I had a name for a girl, but
And
I-
y'all stuck with the C's too, with the Chavez.
that was not. We didn't mean to do that. That
Y'all
just
did
kinda,
Jason
it?
and Chloe.
that just kind of happened.
Even with the last name too.
Uh-huh.
What are their middle names?
Chloe's is Leighton. That's a family name from Kinsey, and Kaysen's is Ricardo. Speaking of Ricky, but
Ricardo,
it was my
yeah.
uncle's name, so I put it in there.
My mother finally texted me back. I said, didn't you have a name picked out me? You thought I was a boy? She said, you're thinking about Casey. She says, that's what I would have named a third child if we had one.
Oh.
Casey.
The next
Casey.
baby would have been Casey,
Casey.
Raspberry.
Now, Al, do you remember Amy's middle name now?
Lee.
Lee. He had to give him a second.
No, I was like, yeah. I said, is this a trap?
It is a trap. It was almost a trap. You know what's funny? It's because Trey remembered it. Trey remembers
I'm like-
Amy's middle name.
I'm like,
Trey has a good memory.
Yeah,
he
Trey does.
does.
Trey,
Yeah,
were
he
you always going to be a Trey?
I was always going to be Richard Lewis Peart III.
Yeah.
And then
Even
that
if you're a
just
girl?
morphed into Trey. Well, I don't know that there was a name before.
It should be Ricky
that.
with an I.
Your name
That's
sounds
cool.
like you're a jazz player.
Yeah.
Like the basketball team?
No. Like you play trumpet in a jazz band.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a second son, would you consider making him the fourth? I know you stopped it with.
Quaid.
Well,
Quaid.
Quaid is the nickname for fourth.
Oh, so he is? I thought he wasn't
Yeah.
a fourth, though.
Well, he's not Richard Lewis Peart IV.
He's just Quaid.
He's Quaid Richard Peart to make his life easier because I've always had to explain that my name is Trey, and that's because I'm Richard Lewis Peart III. And by doing that, I've double messed it up because now he has to explain it twice as
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Like Emma Kelly.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he could name his kid Cinco or something.
Something or
There you
Quinn or,
Or
there's,
Quinn.
there's a bunch of fives.
Did you have a girl
Quad.
name picked out in case?
Paige
Oh, that's pretty.
You might still need it, though.
Page-
might
Page
still need
4.
it.
Might still need it. See, you just gave it out. You're not supposed to do that.